Coming up at 11, what risk flood water poses?
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm McKinley Calandrino. Floodwater could continue to be hazardous even after the peak of the storm. I spoke with the Breathitt County Health Department today about the risks. The dangers of floodwaters continue to rise, even after the water levels lower. The waters can carry heavy debris, leaving sharp objects astray from structures or cars that could come along with the risk of disease. Debris in floodwaters could lead to injuries that put you at risk for bacteria, like tetanus or hepatitis A. These bacteria could be spread through contaminated waters from sewage and animal waste, but there are ways to prevent this. The Breathitt County Health Department is working to make sure citizens are safe. Nurses loaded the mobile outreach unit with hepatitis A and tetanus vaccination supplies and made their way around the county. William Sizemore with the health department say they did this in 2021 after the floods, but he wants to remind folks that hepatitis A requires 2 shots.
Those that got them 2 years ago may want to come back and get their second Hep A shot, then they're good for life. So
he says if you are feeling flu-like symptoms, you may need to stay alert and get checked out by a medical professional.
Everybody knows their own body, and if you know something's not right, you know you need to get to see somebody. So
it is important to wear proper safety gear if you are helping to pick up after a flood. You can go to your local health department for hepatitis A and tetanus vaccinations.
Cold weather advisory is now in effect for the majority of the WYMT viewing area. This will last until 10 o'clock Friday morning. You can see it here in the counties shaded in light blue. Take a look in Pulaski County. Temperature right now 7. Feels like 7 out there. Harlan County, 24 miles east of Harlan near Black Mountain. Look at the temperature 3, but the feels like temperature 9 degrees below 0. Over towards Rowan County, good evening to you, near Moorhead, 18 degrees, feels like temperature is 18. All is quiet, thank goodness, on live pinpoint Doppler radar. We're going to give this guy a little bit of a break as we go throughout the weekend. High pressure, our nice fair weather friend, is going to be in control. We'll get on the back end of it, which will allow temperatures to go up with highs in the 40s for the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. McKinley.
Thank you, Eric. The people of Pike County are ready for a break from the weather. As many communities work to get back on their feet from the flood, others are still isolated from basic needs. But as WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares, neighbors are trying to fill the gaps for those most in need.
Neighborhoods ravaged by water, roadways covered in mudslides, an entire gas station washed away.
It's scary, not knowing what you was going to wake up to.
When the weekend floods rushed through Pike County, the people of Mount Card were left with a sense of dread.
We still don't know how bad it is because we had the flooding, the roads are breaking, their driveways are being covered in debris. We can't get to them, they can't get out, and then the snow comes.
With many homes disconnected from the outside because of broken or blocked roadways.
So it's neighbors helping neighbors, and that's really word of mouth is how we're finding out about the people that are needing assistance.
First responders, school workers, and volunteers have been stepping up, working side by side to get resources to those in need, delivering water, meals, cleaning supplies, and more.
In some places, that's the only way you can get there is by side or walk, either one. The roads are so bad.
With Eastridge High School serving as the area's distribution center, family resource workers say the recovery effort is all hands on deck.
And we have a station set up and we ask just a few simple questions so we can meet your needs the best that we can. And then we have volunteers that go behind the scenes and they pull those items from all the donations that have been coming in.
And though they say everyone is praying for an end to the chaos,
everything's just going to take time, you know. On times like this, all you could do is pull together and come together As a community,
They are working to provide a needed calm from the storm. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Anyone who needs assistance in the area served by East Ridge High School can contact Burdine or Cheryl Ward, who is a coordinator for Elkhorn City. Companies throughout America are coming together to help those affected by flooding in eastern Kentucky. Walmart has connected with Operation Barbecue Relief to provide hot meals to those in need. Operation Barbecue Relief has multiple stations set up throughout the Commonwealth, including Pikeville and South Williamson. In Pikeville, we were able to speak with Steve Anderson, who is a coordinator for the nonprofit.
So our main focus on a disaster deployment is we go in and we feed first responders, we feed those people that have been impacted by the disaster. Really anybody that needs a hot meal, we believe in that barbecue has a healing power.
The operation will continue to serve meals for the time being. For details on dates and times, you can go to their Facebook page at Operation Barbecue Relief. As folks continue to deal with the aftermath of the weekend flood, local business owners are doing what they can to get by. 57 downtown hazard businesses sustained damages after the flood, including Coal Country Candles. Shannon Gabbard co-owns the shop with her husband. She says the two of them had just moved into their new location in August and did everything in their power to have the least amount of damages as possible.
Obviously, we knew that there was a flood warning for the area. We knew the river was going to get up, so we came in Saturday and tried to prepare. We moved things up to higher shelves, moved things that were on the floor to be prepared.
Gabbard says she expected 18 inches of water in the store, but they ended up with 34 inches of water. She says some of her candles and other products were salvageable, and she and her husband continue to pick up the pieces. Emergency Disaster Services is once again in eastern Kentucky as the community grapples with the mark this weekend's flood left behind. Matt Daly with EDS says he's having to tell their crews to take things slow because of snow and ice, knowing slow means more time until normalcy. Daly says it's never easy responding to disasters on familiar ground.
The job number one for us is making sure everybody gets home. Being in the backyard, essentially, in central Kentucky, is we were able to respond very quickly.
Daly says they plan to move out of their Pikeville location Friday afternoon, but that doesn't mean their work there is done. Lowe's is also helping flood survivors. On Saturday, Kentuckians can pick up buckets filled with recovery items. More than 100 buckets will be available at the Pikeville, Paintsville, and Hazard locations. Lowe's will also set up a disaster response trailer at the Pikeville store to rent one-time use tools to clear debris and repair damage. We have more about this story at WYMT.com. Following Senator McConnell's announcement today, many Kentuckians are now asking what's next. Jessica Umbro heard reactions from Republican lawmakers in Frankfort and talked with them about what could be next for the longtime senator's seat.
Just after the end of session Thursday, leaders from both the House and Senate chambers shared their reactions to U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell's decision not to seek re-election in 2026.
It's immeasurable. It's going to be missed. It will take a long time to replace that.
I think for people in the Republican Party, many of them owe much of their success to him.
The Republican Party of Kentucky says the Commonwealth's relatively small delegation will carry on a legacy of being heavy hitters in Washington.
We have some of the most powerful congressional members in the country. So, no, I think we're going to carry on the tradition of being, a force in Washington, D.C.
Just as quickly as the news was spreading around Frankfort, we saw some people say that they intend to run for McConnell's seat and become the junior senator from Kentucky.
Daniel Cameron, Kentucky's former attorney general and 2023 Republican candidate for governor, and Representative Pamela Stevenson, the 2023 Democratic candidate for attorney general, have both said they will be running. U.S. Republican Representative Andy Barr has said he is considering a run as well.
Everybody, I think, knew and has known that at such time that he chose not to seek re-election, it was going to be a very, very spirited and competitive primary, perhaps on both sides.
Senator Stivers says it's hard to tell who's the early frontrunner, but did say what could be the tipping point for the pool of potentially already well-known Kentucky political figures.
Getting to know the person one-on-one or having a relationship with them may trump the disagreements on policy or personal positions.
In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Congressman Rogers issued the following statement about Senator McConnell's retirement announcement. Senator McConnell's retirement announcement marks the coming end of a historic era of dedicated service and leadership that has catapulted Kentucky forward. His deep-seated conservative values and unparalleled respect for our great nation's Constitution and of the institution of our democracy have held our nation on the right path. Together, we have empowered Kentucky-focused legislation through the Senate and the House for many years, and I am grateful to be in his invaluable partnership over the years. I wish him the very best on his birthday today and in the years ahead. Lawmakers discussed more bills in Frankfort today. Senate Bill 60 would define and expand legal safeguards to protect Kentuckians' religious freedom. It says government actions cannot substantially burden a person's religious beliefs, and if the government violates someone's religious freedom, they could be entitled to financial compensation. The bill passed the Judiciary Committee and now heads to the full Senate. A House committee talked about a bill known as Baby Maya's Law. The bill is named after an 8-month-old who was found dead inside her parents' home in Ohio County. Known as Bill 574, it would allow the state to intervene when a child is born to parents who already have children in someone else's custody due to neglect or abuse. The bill passed out of the committee 12-1. It now heads to the full House.